you, my friend, are one of those reasons. I just learn from you and feel so inspired by you. Is there a negative to people living so much longer? I think of things like food supply or things like that. Do you ever think about those things? Like, we got to be really careful here because, there might be an issue we've not factored in. In other words, do other technologies need to be keeping pace if humans are going to live longer?
Yeah. The answer is yes, and that's the subject of my next book, actually. How do we get out of this mess that we're in?
This mess that we're in of living longer and
the mess that the world we've created.
Okay, got you.
Of the stress and the bad food around us. Living longer is part of the solution, actually.
Okay.
So by helping yourself, you actually help save the planet. And that may sound counterintuitive, but let me explain. First of all, there's an economic benefit to living longer. Healthy, right? Productivity.
Sure.
Spending. The economy is driven by people who are healthy and dragged down by people who are not healthy.
Good point.
Yeah. And we did the calculations. By we, I mean a couple of brilliant economists in London, and I was just the third wheel. But they calculated that if you could just extend lifespan by 1 year, let's say everyone went on metformin who could take it, then the savings in the long run to the US would add up to $86 trillion. If you extend it to a decade, it's $365 trillion with a T dollars. This is more money than you can get by doing anything. Save stopping all military spending, which we wouldn't do. But that kind of money can be put towards solving issues like climate change, food supply.
Sure.
And the other thing that I do, and I don't often mention this because it's often not the subject that people want to hear about, but I also work on other problems on the planet. I have a company that detects viruses and bacteria, can diagnose anything from your blood. That's just one. But the one that's relevant that you reminded me is, I co-wrote a patent on the plane over here to California from Boston to preserve fruit. And so the same molecules and coatings on fruit that, the same molecules that work in our bodies also work in plants. In fact, plants make most of these molecules that we ingest. It's one of the reasons I eat stressed out plants, because they make these molecules. Long story short, I'm hoping to extend the shelf life of fruit around the world, and there's a huge amount of fruit and vegetables that are thrown away every day.
Perishes.
Yeah.
You're remarkable, brother. Is there something that keeps you up at night that you worry about?
I don't get kept up at night worrying. I get kept up at night working and talking to people. I do worry a bit that I'm not going to achieve my life's goal, which is to have a medicine that helps millions of people. That would satisfy me. I don't care about prizes and all that stuff. That's doesn't, I've won a few and it doesn't do anything. What I'm hoping for is for a little vial of a drug, some medicine that saves millions of lives. And then I'll be happy. And I'm guided by a mentor of mine, Philip Sharp, who is at MIT, and he actually literally won a Nobel Prize. Does he have his Nobel Prize on the wall? No. Wow. He has a little vial of the drug that he made. And that's what he tells me is important to him. So mental health, very important, because if you're always overly stressed, a little bit of agitation's good, right? Gets us going. But if you have cortisol coursing through your veins, it will accelerate aging. Okay. The other thing is I'm working on democratizing another type of test for age, which is your true biological age, which is measuring the chemicals that are on DNA that actually determine biologically how old you are. And it starts at conception, and it ticks away even when you're young. And I can basically take a blood test or a cheek swab from you or anybody and predict how old you are, but also when you might die if you don't change your life. And what I want to do is give everybody the equivalent of their credit score. And help them improve their credit score. Right? So you got this number, and here's what we think you should do given everything we know about you. And that way, just coach millions of people into a healthier, longer life. And we do have a sign up, so that's my gift. You can get, we're developing this test, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than anything. We've just filed a patent that brings the cost down by a couple of orders of magnitude. The website is called tallyhealth.com. So get on that list. And I'll contact you and we'll see. So tallyhealth.com.